Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
I don't consider myself a conspiracy buff at all, but when they get a lot of coincidences, I get a little suspicious and call me crazy.
Polls, weird talk shows, crazy groups every Sunday telling you what you think.
The Republicans and the Democrats conspire with one another, which they do.
There is a conspiracy by big business against American democracy.
We know that there was a conspiracy.
There was a conspiracy.
There was no conspiracy.
Was there a conspiracy?
It's a communist conspiracy directed out of Moscow.
The right-wing conspiracy.
Communist conspiracy is a deliberate and predictable plan of action to subvert the world.
Right-wing conspiracy.
International criminal conspiracy.
Vast right-wing conspiracy.
Great conspiracy.
There are all these conspiracy theories.
Was there a conspiracy? I don't know.
Perhaps themselves even involved in the conspiracy.
There was
a conspiracy.
No evidence
of a conspiracy.
Anybody would have to be a fool nowadays to dismiss conspiracies.
Conspiracy theory.
Cockeyed conspiracy theory.
Conspiracy theory exists because there really is conspiracy.
But they never told a soul about it. In fact, they engaged in a vast conspiracy.
Since you get accused of being a conspiracy theorist, of being a paranoid.
The historical context of actual conspiracy.
A conspiracy of bad people.
As always happens at some point in a conspiracy. One night, Cousin Eddie got drunk in a honky-tonk and spilled the beans.
There was a conspiracy, and government was involved in it.
conspiracy existing within the United States government.
There was a conspiracy.
A conspiracy.
A conspiracy by the CIA.
The conspiracy of a few.
Dark, secretive, conspiratorial, evil.
Then it was certainly a deliberate conspiracy.
High-level conspiracy.
The do's and the don'ts and the rights and the wrongs of the various conspiracy theories that are good.
Possibility of a conspiracy.
In a moral sense, I think it was a conspiracy.
One conspiracy, that's all I'm talking about.
Full of speculation, conspiracy theories, and the like.
And what's going on here?
You began to wonder what was really happening in America. I mean, was there a vast conspiracy afoot?
You know, there could have been a conspiracy.
Do you think you're obsessed with conspiracy?
Conspiracy theory.
A conspiracy.
I'm afraid you'll catch me. I'm afraid you'll catch me.
A conspiracy would do the job nicely.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of Baseless Conspiracies. I, tonight, am your host, Zach Paine, and joining me in replacement for John, because he's out with some personal matters, nothing bad, good stuff, but filling in adequately, more than adequately for John is Jordan Sather.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
I'm underselling you, Jordan, because tonight we're going to do a little bit of role reversal. I'm actually going to participate in the conspiracy talk, but Jordan is going to be presenting a conspiracy to me. And this is actually something that I had on my list of things to talk about. And I have to say, it's always a pleasure to do shows with you, Jordan. I'm looking forward to this. And I think this is going to be a great conversation. So, how was your weekend? Did you watch Codex 9/11 again?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was there tracking the numbers live and super stoked and talking in the chat. It was a great time, man. Great time.
So good. So good. We watched it on the big screen on television, and I had my phone, but I kept getting sucked into just watching the actual documentary again. So I didn't chat.
So you did watch it. You did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw it live, obviously.
Because I was on Rumble about 10 minutes before it was about to start the premiere for Codex, and I saw you gaming, and I'm like, is Zach really gaming on Rumble right now?
I gamed all the way up until 5:58, and then I raided Codex 9/11.
I saw that. Yeah, because I clicked on your stream. It said 4 hours. I'm like, does Zach have anything to do on Sundays?
I do. Just once a month, I play some video games, and I was playing.
It's cool though, like a Rumble premium stream, just chilling with people. Yeah.
Yeah. I figured that way, nobody's going to miss out on the daily conversations. It's kind of a niche category, right? I mean, most people are not tuning into my channel to watch me play video games, but the ones who do, they're watching Rumble Premium.
I mean, I would do it, but I don't think people are interested in watching me play Roblox with my kids. So
I was playing RoboCop Rogue City, which is awesome. I'm almost through with it, almost done with
Rogue
it.
City. If I would play like old school Age of Empires. That would be me stream gaming.
That's a classic right there. I mean, I don't think I've played that since I was very young. Yeah.
Those
Either way.
MMR, like strategy games, those were
Yeah.
my thing, man.
Yeah. Civilization, that's another good one.
SimCity.
Oh, all right. Well, let me just say hello to everybody out there in the chat. Hopefully you guys also had the opportunity to watch Codex 9/11. If you haven't, it's obviously still available for free on the Badlands Media Rumble channel right there at the top, if I'm not mistaken. So I would highly suggest that you check it out, share it with people in your network, people maybe who still believe the original story of 9/11. I know it's more and more difficult every year to find people who do, but there are still some of them out there. And also, I have some my barbershop. There's a couple of New Yorkers in there, and those guys are pretty based. Like we always are talking about stuff every time I go in there. And I gave them the link to Codex 9/11 before I left on Friday.
Nice. Yeah, I'm sharing it with everybody. Hey, can I plug something real quick?
Of course, plug away.
For anybody watching right now, if you live in the Boise, Idaho area, send me a DM somewhere, send me an email through my website. Just try to get in contact with me from wherever. I'm going to be working on holding a screening at the Old State Saloon in Eagle and Badlands meetup at the same time. And it's going to be on a Monday coming up. I don't know exactly what Monday, but sometime within the next few weeks. So if you want to come to a Badlands meetup and watch a screening of Codex at the Old State Saloon, send me an email and I'll let you know when exactly that'll take place.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. Glad to see you doing that.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, before we get too deep into the conversation, we do have a couple of sponsors. I'm going to give a big shout out to one of them right now. That's going to be our friends at Lean. You guys, you're not going to want to miss this. Brick House Nutrition's Labor Day sale just went live. So that means for a few days only, you can save 25% on everything by using the code LABOR25. You can start the fall off strong, reboot your health, and save big time all at the same time. This massive sale includes the best-selling weight loss formula, Lean. It's doctor-formulated, and Lean helps you turn excess fat into energy, reduce your appetite, and curb your cravings at the same time. Lean helps you reach your weight loss goals without need for needles or prescriptions. And, I also love my Field of Greens. It's my daily go-to. It's the superfruit and the vegetable drink that promises your doctor is going to notice your improved health, or you can get your money back. So, Jordan, you don't look like you need Lean. Are you a fan of any particular Brick House products?
Honestly, I have not tried any Brick House products. I have not.
That's a shame. That's a real shame.
I think they just came out with a creatine that I'd like to try. So,
yeah, some
Brick House, if you're watching.
Protein powder as well. The protein powder is great. The Field of Greens is great. I need Lean, but I just haven't taken it yet. So we're going to see how that goes. But you can also get favorites like Radiance. This is their super collagen booster, and even the Brick House whey protein that I just mentioned. All of it's on sale, 25% off, but it's a very limited time offer just for a few days. So kick off fall feeling stronger and more confident than ever. Head on over to brickhousenutrition.com. Use the code LABOR25. Get 25% off. Once again, that's brickhousenutrition.com. Use the code LABOR25 at brickhousenutrition.com. All right. Bay, I am not calling you fat. I'm calling myself fat, if anybody. I would never call anybody else fat. Unless, of course, I was making fun of a liberal online or something like that. And it's all fair game. Like, did you see the ice video of the girl on the escalator who was like, she was passing by some ICE agents and she said, "What are you doing here? You could choose to get another job." And he turns around and he says, "Yeah, you could choose to eat a salad."
I just heard, I think it was American Airlines is going to start forcing overweight people that take up 2 seats to buy that second seat come next year.
Ooh, I mean, it only makes sense, right? I mean, the seats are only made for people of a certain size, right? If you're going to be taking up 2 seats, you should be paying for 2 seats.
100%. I don't get it. 350-pound person, but 49-pound luggage, you're fine. 150-pound person, but 51-pound luggage, extra fees.
Extra $100. I just found that out going back and forth from GART. Like every time I go to GART, I have packed my luggage perfectly so that I don't go over. But then inevitably I pick up a couple of things while I'm there, and then I get charged $100 coming home. I was salty about that one.
Super salty.
All right. Somebody asked where I play video games. It's on my channel over at Red Pill News, rumble.com/Red Pill 78. And they're always like impromptu streams, like on Sundays. And I never have a specific time that I start playing. Usually I'll try to play like earlier in the day, like between 11 and 1 or something like that. But I'll go for like 5 hours or so because I don't normally play video games. And when I do, I get deep into the lore. So it's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. All right. So, Jordan, I wanted to share something with you that I think is going to kick off our conversation tonight perfectly. And I'm certain that it's something you're familiar with. The Adam and Eve story.
Oh,
well,
yes.
The Adam and Eve story. A history of cataclysms. And this kind of plays into what we're going to be talking about tonight. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, this is a book that was written in the early part of the 20th century, maybe closer to the mid, but a long time ago from where we are right now, by a man named Chan Thomas. Now, not that much is known about Chan Thomas, and if you, Jordan, know more about Chan Thomas, I would love for you to tell me about him. But this book was really mysterious because it came out and it essentially details the history of the world through the lens of cataclysm and changes that have taken place over the years. And mysteriously, at one point, the CIA classified the contents of this book. And then only much later, after it had been edited, did they allow it to come back and be sold again. And then by that point, it had kind of lost momentum and it fell out of print. And in recent years, the declassified version that the CIA had was released. You can't see like what was originally there unless you have the original published copy. At one time I had a scanned copy of that, and I only realized it was the original copy because I had the edited CIA version and I compared it to that other PDF, and there were definitely passages that were missing in the CIA one. But it's a fascinating story. And it begs the question, why would the CIA be so nervous about a book that's talking about things that might happen or may not happen? It makes you think they probably are going to happen. And maybe
that may have happened in Earth's history.
Well,
already.
Certainly. Yes. But it's the idea of cycles, right? I mean, if people understand that there have been a cycle of cataclysmic history throughout the time Earth has been here, and however you want to think about it, we're not going to talk about, like the various forms of the mass that we live on. Let's just use this in terms of simplicity. But if we have a history of cataclysms taking place where we live, then the likelihood of future cataclysms taking place is pretty great. And I would have to imagine that this was a move designed to stop people from panicking. But it only makes sense if they're anticipating something happening.
That, or they keep it secret because if we were to begin preparing or understanding about what our near future potentially holds, and then collective society were to start preparing for that, we would end up making ourselves a little less controllable per se towards the elite. From my understanding of this book, I would have to refresh my memory banks. I did study on it years ago. Ben Davidson at the Suspicious Observers YouTube channel has dove into this quite deeply.
Yes, that's actually where I heard about it first.
Yeah, and then I think AJ from the Y Files has done a few videos on it as well. So Chan Thomas's Adam and Eve story details kind of more specifically a pole shift, not just a magnetic pole shift coinciding with that cataclysmic cycle, but also possibly a geophysical, like a tilting of the Earth on its axis for a brief time, almost like a spinning top that goes out of balance and then it sort of finds its axis again and recalibrates. So there could be like a tilting of the Earth and then a tilt back. And due to the momentum, angular momentum and the inertia sort of taking it off its axis and then bringing it back after a brief period. And then in doing that, jostles the continents, the ocean, everything on it, all of the weather patterns and vorticular motion of the currents and everything. So I think the reason why the CIA classified it and then ended up declassifying it, and the little tweaks that they made in that book, is because I believe in the edited version of the Adam and Eve story, they edited out basically how much the Earth tilts.
Mm-hmm.
So in the edited version, it says that the Earth just tilts like a wee bit, not that much. And I believe in the original version, it was almost a 90-degree rotation about the axis, like a much more drastic and dramatic tilting. I think that's what they edited.
I believe you're correct, because I first learned about the concept of a pole shift when I was very young. Like when I first woke up when I was a kid, and I started looking into as many different things as possible. The idea of magnetic pole shift and a physical pole shift came across, what I was researching, and I saw it discussed in terms of types of animal life and vegetation that had been found in areas of the Earth that seemed impossible. If we went by the idea that the positioning of the Earth was the same as it had always been. Like, perhaps under layers of Antarctic ice, there would be evidence of, grassy tundra, animals that had suddenly been flash frozen. And for a period of time, I was really, really frightened about the idea of the Earth literally shifting with no warning and all life on this planet just being torn apart. Like it's a scary thought for like a 10 or 11-year-old kid, and kind of makes you feel powerless.
Yeah, and I do think there is some warnings, at least, not directly or overtly, but you could almost say we're seeing some of those warnings begin to take place now, and have been for at least a decade or two.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, from my understanding, I think the magnetic shifting precedes the possibility of the potentiality of a physical shift. And we already have been seeing a lot of anomalies go on with Earth's magnetic poles. And all kinds of different energetic anomalies take place in our atmosphere, from plasma ropes being seen in the sky to the Earth magnetic field weakening. I think it's down like 20%.
It is. Yeah.
From 30, 40 years ago. And this is why, when we're seeing during this solar maximum cycle of more sunspots being seen on the sun, this is why when we get moderate solar flares that really aren't anything huge spit out solar particles at the Earth, you're seeing aurora as far south as Florida and the Caribbean. You're seeing aurora so much further south than you should with a moderate solar flare like we've been having, yet that's what we're seeing. So Earth's magnetic field weakening, we can see signs all over the place. There's different anomalies. Like there's a big magnetic anomaly above Brazil right now. There's like a huge dead spot in the magnetic field, weak spot. And then the magnetic north and south poles are exponentially speeding up to the point where almost every couple of years they have to update what's called the World Magnetic Model, meaning compasses are continuously having to be calibrated because
drifting.
Yeah, because it's drifting. So I think they just updated the World Magnetic Model about 6 months ago, not too long ago, because of how far those magnetic north and south poles are creeping. And the North Pole is almost over Siberia at this point. Back in the early 1900s, it was kind of making its way over Canada. And then around 1950, in the mid-20th century, it just completely did a 180, reverse course, and it started speeding up faster and faster and faster, and now it's heading towards Siberia. And I think the southern magnetic pole is almost off the Antarctic ice sheet already. So they're moving faster and faster. So there's all kinds of weird stuff going on. One of the most fascinating ones to me is called noctilucent clouds. And when I was 20, I was like 21, 22, I was just starting to wake up to what's going on in the world, but I didn't know what these things were yet. And I was on a I was on a beach in the middle of the night, and I saw these in Washington State.
Like this?
It's exactly what they are, noctilucent clouds. So it was like 2012 and summertime. I was on a date with a lady. We were out at the beach late at night, and I looked up and I saw these just glowing clouds in the sky. I'm like, what the heck is that?
That's so cool.
It wasn't aurora because they weren't glowing, but years later, when I was researching magnetic pole shifts and the anomalies going on with our planet, I came across this. I'm like, that's exactly what I saw. And what they are basically plasma in the upper atmosphere, way higher than cirrus clouds. Cirrus clouds are those wispy clouds, the highest ones that we can see. Those are about 10 miles up, I think. Noctilucent clouds are 50 to 100 miles up. So they're not normal clouds. They're basically glowing ice crystals full of plasma. And so there's all kinds of different anomalies going on. And those noctilucent clouds, kind of like northern lights, they're being seen more and more south from the poles than really they should be. So we've had all kinds of different indicators that something's amiss go on over the past few years.
There's another. So you mentioned a magnetic anomaly, a magnetic dead zone, and I know that there is like something called the South Atlantic anomaly, which is another place that's a weak spot, and it affects satellites allegedly when they go over because they're using some type of magnetic positioning to figure out where they are. And I've also heard of like I believe a heavy spot that's down in Antarctica, if I'm not mistaken, where there is like a conglomeration of magnetic energy that is far stronger than it's supposed to be. Barbie said something in the chat interesting just a moment ago, and I wanted to go back to it. I think she said, do you think that they're causing earthquakes to perhaps, do you think they are creating earthquakes to relieve pressure to avoid a major shift? I'm not sure how all this works. What do you think about that?
I frankly don't think that's the case. I think that with our Earth's weakening magnetic field, that's allowing more solar and cosmic energy to penetrate down, not just onto Earth's surface, but into the crust. And that's what's causing more and more earthquakes around our globe. I think, there was that about a month back, there was that big one in Russia that set off the tsunami alarms in Hawaii and Alaska. What was that? An 8-point? Do you remember the size of that one?
I mean, it was an 8+, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it was a big one.
Yeah, on that peninsula of Russia. There was just another 6.5 earthquake on that same peninsula in that same area, I think yesterday or the day before. So a lot of earthquakes are going on. And you often find on social media, people tend to be very single-minded. They think it's one issue causing these things. They see an earthquake go on, and many people's minds instantly go to HAARP. But usually there's multiple factors in play, or it's something, or the factor that's actually causing the thing is outside of most people's paradigm. So no, I think.
Do you watch Dutch Synths at all? Have you seen
a
his?
Lot, not so much anymore.
Because he's got like an earthquake prediction model, which is scarily accurate.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he has like a 5-minute video basically where he goes over all of it. Let me actually pull this up real quick because
Ben Davidson does a little bit of earthquake prediction stuff, not as much as Dutch Synths. And when the sun's active, you can pretty much expect that there will be more earthquakes.
Okay. Melindy says that is Ben's.
On YouTube. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Ben's model. So Ben came up with this model. I've only seen Dutch Synths talk about it. I haven't seen Suspicious Observers for a long time because I got kicked off of YouTube and I lost everybody that I was subscribed to like 6 years ago. But
you got kicked off of YouTube?
I did on October 15th, 2020.
Wait, what day was that?
October 15th, 2020.
Who else got kicked off YouTube that day?
You got kicked off of YouTube too.
Did I get kicked off YouTube that day too?
Yeah, like we all got kicked off of YouTube. I don't know if Melindy was aware of me at that time, but just saying. Okay, so here, let me go ahead and play this.
Forecast an Earthquake, the text version, by Dutchsons, Michael Yuri Janich. Simply put, almost anyone can do earthquake forecasting down to a region of a few hundred miles, down to an approximate 7 to 10 day time period, and usually within 1 magnitude of what actually ends up striking. How to? Standing wave principles apply. See here for a video example, https://rumble.com/vbdn5d-concntic-s. Video above shows the whole process from deep earthquakes to the spread up, the halfway sorting and the spread out. Video shows concentric waves, into a singularity spike upwards, then a standing wave in a tank building power reflecting back into itself, then the middle points are sorted via vibration on a shake plate, then the wave.
You know what's interesting about this, Jordan, is that solid matter tends to behave like a liquid at scale. Like if you think
I think everything's a liquid, even solid matter. I think our whole universe works via fluid dynamics. You have water as a fluid, air is really a fluid, the ether itself is a fluid. Yeah. All matter really emanates from the ether. So at various frequencies of resonances, even solid matter turns into somewhat of a fluid. So
yeah, pretty interesting. Okay, so here we go.
Wave travels as a solid and solitary wave of translation, then sorts to middle points again as it distributes out along the linear plate boundaries and across craton edges. ________. Explanation. Between any two earthquakes, a middle point exists. Think of two earthquakes like two waves in a standing wave tank. Then a new earthquake, a new single wave of same size or combined larger, pops up in the middle point between the two previous waves. Like bookends, the two previous earthquakes define the area to watch for the new earthquake to strike in the near-term future. The middle point usually is struck with the combined total of both previous earthquakes. Example. Two 5.0s hit across Japan. One M5.0 on the south at Kyushu, one M5.0 on the north at Hokkaido. Then a few days later or less a new M5.1 to M5.2 strikes the middle point at Tokyo. The standing wave usually spreads onwards along the plate boundaries and craton edges after striking in a particular area more than a few times. As the standing wave spreads, new sets of quakes occur at the halfway points previously mentioned. Just as a standing wave spreads in a tank, and then reflects into itself, earthquakes spread and strike the same way, but instead of being in a tank, the seismoelectrical wave which is spreading follows the plate boundaries and craton edges out and away from where the wave comes up. The seismoelectrical wave comes up from below the plates, coming up from the core itself as an ultra-low frequency or extremely low frequency wave. When the seismoelectrical ULF/ELF wave comes up from the plasma core of the Earth, like lightning spreads up from the plate into the atmosphere. This seismoelectrical wave spreads up and out through the plate. The ULF/ELF seismoelectrical wave is usually accompanied by a deep earthquake recorded at the bottom of the plate receiving the wave, or even deeper below the plate receiving the wave in the semi-melted asthenosphere. The deep earthquake sizes, magnitudes, and locations are important. Much like we would pay attention to a storm dropping a large amount of precipitation on a river, we would watch for the river to flood, and the flow of the water to go downstream away from the origin point following a path of least resistance. Therefore, just like paying attention to a storm dropping a lot of rain, we need to pay attention to deep earthquakes as a sign of a large amount of low-frequency energy being absorbed into the plate in that area. When a rainstorm drops large amounts of rain on a river, the river floods and the flow goes downstream/away from the origin point. The same can be said for the seismoelectrical wave. It follows a path of least resistance. However, instead of flowing downhill like water does, the seismoelectrical wave flows up, out and away from the deep earthquake locations. Thus this wave is not just electrical in nature, but also a traveling physical wave in some fashion I have yet to determine.
So the one thing that's not in here, which I thought was in here, was his prediction of where earthquakes would hit and the factors that he uses to determine. Like, so it has something to do with like man-made activity, like drilling or like underground construction, presence of water, plate tectonics as well. But he's got this map that he's created where he's like, I'm predicting an earthquake here. And then within days, an earthquake hits there. And then I'm predicting an earthquake here, predicting an earthquake here. Somebody in the chat said, this is junk science. It's not my area of expertise. And my question then for anybody thinking it's junk science would be, how is it junk science if what he has put together is able to successfully determine the location of an earthquake prior to the so-called scientific experts? I mean, I don't know that there's an answer for it other because just saying it's junk science without saying why it's junk, I don't think that really holds any weight.
Right. And if he at least has a few hits, maybe he gets a few wrong now and again, but if there's at least a preponderance of hits where he's able to predetermine an earthquake a few days beforehand, at least more than a few times, then, well, yeah, maybe it's something we should pay attention to.
I don't know. I guess mRNA vaccines are totally safe too. So
right.
But okay, so there is one instance of somebody being
we need to make shirts that say "Trust the junk science."
Trust the junk science.
Be a good one.
So so there's an example of somebody able to use some type of method of deduction to be able to predict something cataclysmic that may be happening. And obviously there are degrees depending upon the severity of the earthquakes that hit. But you also mentioned the moving magnetic north on Earth. And another thing we were going to be talking about are some other specific data points which seem to indicate another method of perhaps predicting some type of cataclysm.
Yeah, for sure.
And that would specifically be the behavior of animals, which is, I would say, that's like pretty well established, right? Animals have a much more sensitive magnetic sensory organ in their brains. Birds, they migrate using the magnetic waves on Earth. Obviously, they're traveling with the seasons, but they know where they're going because they are following some type of magnetic divination. I don't know how to actually put it, but that's accepted. And animals also seem to have an understanding of when something is going to happen. Take a look at some of the larger earthquakes that have happened in recent years, or tsunamis. You've had documented incidents of animals running from the scene, getting out of there before anything cataclysmic happens. And people are just kind of like, wow, what's going on? Just hang out at the beach. Let's watch this wave come in. Wow, that's big. And then the next thing you know, they're under 10 feet of water.
Animals for sure have a much more keen magnetic sense than we do, at least in terms of direction. So, of course, it's fairly well known that animals, or at least by the experts, that animals, mammals, birds, sea life use magnetic lines for migration patterns and travel. I think we humans have quite a magnetic sense as well, but not for direction finding, more so higher awareness. So something that's been going on with me lately, weird ass dreams. I don't know about you. I don't dream much. And usually when I do, it's not anything intense. But over the past few weeks, dude, like crazy dreams waking me up after a couple hours of sleeping. And I'm like, what the hell was that?
Jordan,
so,
you're kind of freaking me out right now.
I just wanted, they're not nightmares by any means, but it's just weird, vivid, super vivid dreams. So I wanted to throw that out there to ask the chat if they've been experiencing the same thing. And I'm wondering if it's an effect of, more solar energy or cosmic energy able to get to the surface of the earth. And our brains, our pineal glands have tons of piezoelectric crystals in them. Our whole nervous system is magnetically based. So it would make sense that if magnetic anomalies are going on our planet, that our whole collective consciousness would have changes as well, have effects from that.
I have definitely been having vivid dreams that are waking me up and that I have remembered. And I kind of have a history of Lisa says I have nightmares like every night. I don't know. I don't remember them every night, but I certainly have done things in the physical world because of the dreams that I'm having. And sometimes I will realize it. Other times I'll have sleptwalked and I'll be out of bed and I'll be doing other stuff. I have like one time years ago, I fell asleep inside and I woke up in my backyard, like standing in the middle of my backyard.
Like legit sleepwalking?
Legit sleepwalking. I legit sleepwalked out to the middle of my backyard, and I have no idea how long I was out there. And it wasn't warm out.
Looking like a Ken doll out there. Okay.
Yeah, just about. Yeah. Lisa says I'm a scary sleeper.
Mine lately have been mainly me vividly meeting people from my past who have died. So when I was 25, one of my best friends got killed in a car wreck.
Oh, man.
And I had a dream the other week where I like met her and was vividly in the dream asking her how she's doing. She was asking me how we're doing, like talking to her again. Animals that have died. Had a dream the other week that about my cat that died last year, and I was petting him like one last time in the dream. So things like that, just weird instances. But I think there's going to be a lot of odd effects to our consciousness and our awareness going forward. And it could even, I think, trickle down to our sensory perception. So for anybody out there that's ever done psilocybin or any kind of psychedelic medicines, drugs, call them what you will, and you kind of get that kaleidoscope vision, or any kind, your touches, your senses are so much more heightened. I almost think that we could get very small effects of that naturally. So with more solar energy, there's been some studies showing that could have an effect on our pineal glands to secrete more DMT. So I think our physical senses, our vision, our touch, our hearing could get a lot more keen, or like a heightened state of awareness with our senses, with any kind of changes with our magnetic field that's been going on.
Closer to super soldier status.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. So I don't know. We'll see.
You got something you want me to pull up?
Yeah, there's definitely effects going on with our animals. I want to share this video by Yanasa TV. So he has a great YouTube channel where he tracks he has a farm in South Carolina, I believe, and he tracks a lot of what's going on with local farms around the country, the government screwing with local farms, screwing with agriculture, but he also tracks a lot of these kind of different anomalies going on with wildlife, with nature, with agriculture in general. This video he published a few days ago saying something is seriously wrong with the bees. It's not what you think. Spoiler alert.
Not just Roundup?
Not just Roundup. And again, that's kind of what I mentioned earlier, right? When you say an issue going on, people tend to have their single issue thinking where they think it's one thing that's causing it.
Right. People want it to be simple. They want it to be simple.
There's a lot of nuance going on, similar to crazy weather storms. Yes, weather modification is a thing, but also we have weakening magnetic field, more solar energy. That's also going to play a part in intensification of storm systems, more floods, bigger hurricanes. So multiple things going on with events. In this case with the bees, glyphosate for sure, no doubt. Also electrosmog, 5G towers, Wi-Fi towers, things like that. So those, but also what we're talking about here, he makes the suggestion that it is the magnetic field, but he's highlighting how, here, I'll just play the first maybe minute. He's highlighting how there's a lot of weird things going on with the bees, how bees are just getting angry and they're making hives in the weirdest places.
About bees, because there's something very, very strange going on with bees today. And I'm not just talking about the beehive collapses that we discussed earlier this year. They've come up with some solutions to that. They've blamed it on mites and mite resistance to some of the pesticides that beekeepers have been putting into their hives. But there's something else that's been going on. There's been some very, very strange behavior coming out of bees that's been reported around the world, really. And then if you look at bee aggression, it seems to be on the rise, particularly in early 2025. So I'm going to go through some of these bee aggression incidents, and these are just the incidents that have been reported. You know, it's not every day that somebody reports bee stings to the news media or that they're willing to cover it. So these are just incidents that have been reported. And then going beyond that, you can imagine how many of these incidences are actually happening. So in early 2025, April 27th, a man was mowing near a vacant building. The bee swarmed, attacked. He ran, got into his car. He ended up crashing. He ended up dying later on due to cardiac arrest because of the bee stings.
On April 27th, Eastland police were called out to a crash that was in the 700 block of North Lamar Street. When officers were...
So in the rest of this video, he basically highlights how there's a lot of different bee attacks going on. I'm going to share a couple others. This might be the same story. Bee attacks increase across central Texas. This is an article highlighting a few different bee attacks going on in Texas. Same thing in France. Bee attack injures several dozen. It's like these hives are just getting angrier.
So, you know, I've seen a couple of videos on this, and one of them that I saw, this guy had ordered a queen from someplace in California. And when he basically started the new colony with this queen, that colony became super aggressive. Like, there were regular bees that glommed onto this queen, and something about that queen made this hive just nuts, and they had to get rid of it. And he said that he was worried about potential interbreeding between Africanized honeybees and domestic honeybees. And I think that that's a possibility, but I also thought about it in terms of as an intentional act, right? I mean, like agro-terrorism. Have you ever heard of that concept? Yeah. So there was work that the United States did to try to create wheat blight so that they could destroy Soviet crops during the Cold War. And China has intentionally purchased all of this agricultural land all over the United States in an effort to control the American food supply. How insidious would it be if they were to create a strain of normal looking but aggressively trained honeybees because of their genetics, and to essentially wreak terror upon colonies of bees here and make it so that we would have to kill even more bees than are being killed already because of Roundup and perhaps other things. But I mean, that's just one possible conclusion.
Yeah, like a genetically engineered Bill Gates bee that working on with China or something like that. And then you couple that with, I mean, I'm sure all these Gwen towers, 5G towers, all this electrosmog going up is playing a part in
absolutely
just screwing up all of the animals' proprioception, all their magnetic receptors in their brain. And then couple that with all the things going on with the Earth's magnetic field, and these animals don't know up from down anymore.
I never see honeybees anymore. Like, we used to see them all the time when I was a kid, and now it's just so rare. We tried to grow wildflowers here in the backyard, and I didn't have any spot that was appropriate, even with like partial or mostly shade wildflowers. I just couldn't get them to grow in the backyard, and I wanted to do everything I could to try to make it a place for honeybees. And the same with monarch butterflies. Never see those anymore either.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't see as many butterflies either. Let's see here. What else do we have with the animals? Migratory patterns of sea life is another big one too. Kind of tough to research because anytime you type in migration into Google, all you get are stories about Mexicans. But it was tough for me to find some of these stories. You had to basically search unusual animal migration and really get the keywords right to find these stories. But it's definitely a thing how a lot of these migration patterns are very odd. And you're seeing whales, you're seeing turtles, you're seeing dolphins. You're seeing a lot of this sea life end up in places and at times of year that are very unusual for them. So being found, off the coast of Canada in the winter instead of in tropical waters, or you're seeing turtles just in on the other side of the world where at that time of the year they normally wouldn't be. So here's rare humpback whales in Australia in the spring where typically they would not be.
Well, that's global warming, Jordan.
Well,
Everybody knows. Everybody
that's
knows
what we're
that.
getting to. They're blaming this all. Yeah, that's the thing. They're blaming this all just on climate change.
Right.
Which, okay.
Totally ignoring all of the other garbage that's out there in the environment.
Right. What's causing the climate change, jackass?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just carbon. Breathing in cow farts. No. So in Alaska, researchers say whales and fish are changing their migration patterns in the warming climate.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. So, and then
stop breathing.
Stop breathing. Breath tax, 1 cent per breath. And then and then turtle strandings in the UK and Ireland. Also researching animals washing ashore as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another big thing. If they can't migrate, if they don't know which way to go, north or south or east or west or wherever, they're just going to go in whatever ass end direction and probably end up on a shore somewhere. And this has definitely been the thing for years where you're getting dolphins and turtles and jellyfish and all kinds of animals, whales washing up on shore, dying on shore as well. Just over the past few months, there's a bunch of, jellyfish washing ashore in Spain, strange blobs in California.
Ooh, go to that. What is that? Strange blobs. I mean, the title lends itself to the idea that they haven't identified what it is.
Right. Yeah, they just want us to click on it and look, we're here. Easy to bait. Easy to bait. Blue blobs.
The glittering blue creatures washing on California beaches, those are Portuguese man-o-wars. And I had never seen those until I came down here to Florida. I actually got one on my foot. They are, spoiler alert, they can sting you even after they're dead. So be careful.
53-foot sea creature washed up on an Oregon beach.
Is that like an oarfish?
I'm not sure on that one. Things washing ashore in Ireland. I mean, it's happening all over the place. Oh, it's just a sperm whale.
Okay.
They couldn't put that in the title because we had to click on it. But
people, they need those clicks. They need those clicks.
I'm not showing the tab.
Yeah, you're not showing the tab. So I know that obviously off of the East Coast, there's a lot of talk about beached whales and various ocean mammals that are coming ashore. And it's been widely accepted that it's because of the offshore wind farms that are being put in, But again, I feel like they ignore all of the other stuff that's also out there polluting and that could likely be happening.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, these offshore wind farms are causing problems. But again, multiple factors causing the issue to become excessive. And then they just go on and blame climate change. So that's their easy scapegoat. Scientists flag disturbing trends among large mammals increasingly compelled to change migratory patterns and climate change.
All of it climate change. Always climate change.
It's all climate change. Right. So, begs the question, though, what is causing that climate to change?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, geoengineering, small part. Carbon, nah, barely. But what is that big glowing ball of plasma in the sky that we see every day? Could that not have an effect on this little blue planet?
Certainly.
And then the thing about the magnetic pole shifting is that it has been reported. It has been reported in the mainstream media. I mean, if they're updating the world magnetic models with this, it's not something they can ignore, because anybody, amateur astronomers and geologists, archaeologists, can go check it. But their reasoning is, of course, probably full of shit. They say, I think they're saying it's because of the core of the planet or something or other.
We're making it hot.
Yeah, right. Probably climate change. Oh, here's their fact check, though. I just found this one. Magnetic pole shift is not the cause of current climate change.
Well, there we go. Thank God for NewsGuard and Snopes.
Exactly.
All right, Jordan, before we continue, let me just give a shout out to our second sponsor of the night. That's going to be our friends over here at Save Pulse. You guys, Save Pulse is dedicated to keeping you and your family healthy with top quality medications. Stuff like amoxicillin, azithromycin, ivermectin, and hydroxychloroquine, all going to find them at unbeatable prices. Their streamlined ordering process makes it super easy to stock up for all of your health essentials. And right now, exciting news about fenbendazole showing promise in cancer research. They are proudly offering this medicine alongside antibiotics and viral care needs. But don't wait. Prepare for any health scenario today. You can get your supply and stay ahead of the curve with Save Pulse. Just visit badlandsmedia.tv/meds and use the promo code SAVEHEALTH at checkout to get a 20% discount on orders over $100. Once again, that's badlandsmedia.tv/meds and use the promo code SAVEHEALTH and you're going to get 20% off on all orders over $100. Or you can use that QR code right on screen. Thank you very much to Save Pulse. And we're back, Jordan.
And we're back. I'm just checking out what our friends in the mainstream science media are saying about this magnetic pole shift. So here, who is this? Live Science? Yeah, Live Science. This is like CNN for science reporting.
It's a low bar.
Yeah, it's pretty low.
Oh my God.
They say the magnetic field is generated by liquid iron slowly moving around the planet's outer core. And that's why there's just movement in that liquid iron, and that's what's affecting our planet's magnetic poles.
How do you think they landed on iron? I mean, because it's magnetic. They just figured, like,
yeah, probably an
assumption.
assumption.
It's got to be iron.
It's magnetic. It must be liquid iron.
That's funny. I wonder, is molten iron even magnetic?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Rocket.
No. No, molten iron is not magnetic. That's so funny. Once it is heated above,
did you just search it?
I did, yes. Once it's heated above its, yeah, it's definitely not. Once it's heated above its Curie temperature, which causes its atoms to lose their ordered alignment and magnetic spin. That was what I was thinking, but I didn't want to say it until I actually had the details in front of me. So there it is. It's still paramagnetic, which is a weak form of magnetism, and it can be influenced by a strong changing magnetic field. It cannot be permanently magnetized or strongly attracted to a permanent magnet like solid iron. And of course, we've never been to the center of the earth, so we don't even really know.
Don't even really know. There's a really good YouTube channel called Sky Scholar, and he has a bunch of great videos digging into the sun, and his theory is that the sun is liquid metallic hydrogen. It's not this big ball of nuclear fusion that we're told. It's actually,
you're saying the sun is not a mass of incandescent gas, a virtual nuclear furnace?
right. At least on the surface, it's liquid metallic hydrogen.
Okay.
And maybe inside it's some kind of plasma or something to that effect. But
Well, if the electric universe theory holds, then that
Right.
would make total sense.
so I wonder if inside of the Earth, if it's something similar, like a liquid metallic substance or plasma, rather than just being like iron sloshing around.
I would really like to see the core of the Earth.
Just
I don't know
chop
where
it
we're
in
going to
half.
get there.
Right. What was that movie where they go down? Was it Core? Didn't they call it Core?
I think it might have been just called The Core or something.
Core.
I think that just like Deep Impact and what was the other one? There was 2 earthquake movies, there was 2 Earth core movies,
Armageddon?
there was two there were 2 meteor movies.
And they all came out at the same time within a few years just to scare the shit out of us.
Let me see. Vegas to plural says, breaking news. Sources say magnetic pole shifting toward Russian Siberia believed to be influenced by the war with Ukraine. All of the bullets, all of the depleted uranium on the formerly verdant the formerly verdant agricultural fields of Ukraine are causing the magnetic pole shift to move towards Siberia. And then Salbish says, yes, I am 53 and I was swarmed by yellow jackets for the first time a month ago. About 30 on me, more chasing behind. In my town's Facebook group, there have been several other reports too.
Animals just getting weird. They don't know where to go. I think our magnetic field's impacting them. And I think the magnetic field's impacting us too. It's just a lot of people don't. They get an effect from it, and they don't think that effect could be influenced by something outside of themselves. So, for instance, me bringing up the dreams, our brains could be impacted by these kinds of energies outside of ourselves. And
do you think that's why people are just like seem so much more apeshit nowadays than they did?
They have a bunch of mRNA in their body. Now their genes are going haywire, and you couple that with all the greater energetic effects going on with the Earth and the sun, and it's causing people to be just as weird as the bees and aggressive.
EMF pollution as well.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
And then in the
SSRIs,
Smithsonian,
Geomeister, yeah. I mean, the list is endless. This is the thing. Like anytime people have been like, "What can I do? What's the one thing I could do?" And I'm like, yeah, I don't think there is any one thing. Like, you just have to try to live as naturally as possible. But it's becoming exceedingly difficult. Like you, Jordan, you have the ability to go out in the middle of nowhere, where I would imagine there is no cell service, right?
I do my best. Yeah, it can.
Yeah.
I need give me about 40 minutes, and I can be out in some pretty good sticks with no cell service.
We essentially have no cell service in our house, but I think like all of the other
Faraday cage.
Yeah, we have a metal roof, we have cinder block walls, and I don't know what kind of insulation there is, but you don't get any service inside the house.
But the thing about Florida is that it's super flat. So
It is flat.
any waves that propagate from a tower, they got nothing in the way to. Although you have a load of sun and salt water and beach there, which is great.
Like the ions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ions and all that from being in the sun next to the beach. So, but
hopefully there's also like a large piece of elemental quartz directly under my house too. So the ionic field is perpetuated.
That's something I was thinking of when we were in Deadwood last weekend, because we had those monster thunderstorms roll through, and lightning just
and the hail.
And, I went for a hike for a couple of days. A couple of the days we were there, I went for a hike behind the hotel because there were some trails there, and I was just finding all these rocks of straight quartz. The rock in those hills is super. It's really old. And It's like pure quartz. So it's super electrified. And
Yes,
then
it
you
is.
have all the lightning. So
Well, I mean, there still to this day is a ton of gold mining going on there, and gold veins will often run directly through quartz. So all of that leftover, I don't know if you call it slag. Slag would be when you cook off the impurities. So somebody else here is probably like an amateur miner. There is whatever the leftover product of breaking up the rock to get the gold out. That's what that is.
Right.
Somebody knows. Somebody knows. Somebody tell me. Did you get caught in the hail, Jordan?
No. Oh man, the barista saved me. I was
Like
at
St. Joan of Starbucks.
Oh my god, I was so grateful for her. I was
Tailings, thank you. Chad Force Tailings, appreciate you, bro.
I was waiting for a coffee in that little coffee shop in the Deadwood Hotel there.
Mhm.
And the barista was gone taking the trash out or something, made me wait for like 5 minutes for a coffee. And she felt so bad. I'm so sorry for making you wait. I'm like, not a big deal. Ordered a couple shots of espresso. And then right as I get to the front door, hail starts coming down. So I walked back and I thanked her for making me wait. Else I would have got caught in the hail.
She might have like literally saved you from like a concussive blow to the back of your skull.
Yeah, it was gnarly. I would have been on the street walking to go get a steak in the middle of that too.
Like you would be like the wife, I think it was in Volcano, when the piece of lava hit her in the back of the head and she just like I think it was Pierce Brosnan. He's like, honey, what's wrong? And he grabs her and he looks at the back of her head and he's like, oh my God. Somebody knows this.
Was that Dante's Peak?
Yes, that's what it was. Dante's Peak, not Volcano. Volcano was the other one.
Yes.
Can never keep them straight.
Oh,
it's so funny.
Cataclysm movies are my favorite.
I know. I do like them. But thank you very much to Filter Dog. He says, whatever happens, God is in control. Yeah, I have to be honest. You know, at this point in my life, with all of the indignities that we've suffered, I'm not actually worried about any of this stuff like I used to be. Like getting sober was like a huge part of that for me. Like just recognizing that basically everything outside of my own decisions are completely outside of my control. So it doesn't really do me any good to like wreck myself with anxiety thinking about what may happen. If it does happen, okay. Oh, well, I'm not concerned.
It's just the perspective. Perspective is the subjective spin you put on anything. So you could be learning about this sort of stuff and thinking, oh my God, the world's going to end. We're all screwed. Or you could say, oh, well, shit's going to happen. Might as well live my life and
there you go.
Not worry about it. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I'll prepare to an extent, but I'm not going to live paranoid.
No.
I'm not I'll prepare so I don't get caught with my pants down. But if there's something way beyond my control, why even bother worrying about it if it's outside of my control?
That's right. That's right. I am prepared for all contingencies. Don't get me wrong. I'm a prepper of the highest order. So should anything happen, I'll be ready for it. And but Nikki helps us with a defining feature of Dante's Peak. That's the one where grandma walks through an acid lake to get them all to safety. I'm remembering this in my mind now. I seem to remember her like holding the kids up and she's like, like walking literally through an acid lake, melting. And that also takes me back to when I was a kid, because before climate change, before global warming, okay, so there was climate change. Before that was global warming. Before that was acid rain. And then before that was global cooling. We were supposed to go into a new ice age. When they started talking about acid rain, I literally thought that the cars outside were going to like have the paint melting off of them because acid was going to be coming out of the sky. And that if I went outside in that acid rain, it would also melt my face or whatever got hit by the water. But then I started really thinking about it and I was like, wait a second, why isn't everything melting? Oh, man. But the things that go through your head when you're kids. Oh, the ozone hole. Yep, definitely the ozone hole.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah, we were all going to die from the ozone hole. And the thing about climate change, right? and this is what irks me. So if the ice caps were going to melt, if all the ice around Arctic or Antarctic were starting to melt, what that would actually do is cause what's called a Heinrich event, which this has happened, kind of same thing, periodically at intervals, consistent intervals throughout our history. But if you get the ice melting, it's freshwater ice.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a lot of freshwater ice injected quickly into the large saltwater oceans, it raises the salinity, and it would effectively cool. It would cool the oceans and cause like a lot of cooling on the planet. So all the global warming stuff is nonsense, effectively.
That's right. And the more ice that melts, it's been shown that through a cyclical process, more ice is going to form, because eventually it all ends up going back up into the atmosphere, and then it rains back down, and then it freezes again. And if I'm not mistaken, polar ice is at an all-time high right now, which they don't talk about. It's like they only talked about it when they had models which said that it was going to disappear. But they don't talk about the polar ice advantage that we seem to have right now. And they certainly don't talk about AOC's prediction or Al Gore's prediction. Remember An Inconvenient Truth?
Oh, God, yeah. Did I say raise the salinity?
Well, no, the
chat was saying... I might have accidentally said raise. I meant lower.
Yeah,
lower.
It would lower the
yeah,
salinity.
Dilute it.
Yeah.
So on to the Smithsonian here. Bloop. Smithsonian, our favorite. While such an event, they're talking about the pole shift here. While such an event is not expected to happen anytime soon, define soon. That's a very arbitrary thing. It might not happen in our lifetimes, but what is soon? They have occurred periodically throughout Earth's history. The last reversal took place around 780,000 years ago. Scientists are not yet able to
give or take a few 100,000 years.
Well, they're only missing dozens and dozens of other reversal events. And here's the thing. It's almost like it's these cycle changes, or these cycle apexes, if you will. It's almost like you have minor cycles nested within greater cycles.
Mm-hmm.
So every 6,000 or so years, there's like a very minor one. Maybe the poles shift a little bit, but not all the way. And there's no geophysical shifting. It's just a little bit of magnetic shifting. But then maybe every 12 or 24,000 years, then you get a larger one where there is a greater magnetic alteration and a bit of geophysical wobble or something to that effect. And then on larger timescales, there's bigger cycle changes. So the Smithsonian here also full of crap, because they're missing, and again, Suspicious Observers, he's done videos where he details many of these cycle changes, the smaller ones, larger ones, on a time frame. And it seems to be every 6,000 years, there's a smaller one. 12,000 years, there's a larger one.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to this Heinrich event, which all of these, during these cycle changes, kind of all of these events take place or are effects at the same time of the cycle changes. So pole shifting, weakening magnetic field, Heinrich event, all these things, they seem to all kind of happen at the same time during these cycle shifts. And the Heinrich event here, you have one of them apparently occurring during the Younger Dryas there. And that Younger Dryas time frame, which is often talked about by alternative archaeologists and scientists in this field, the likes of what's his name?
Graham Hancock.
Yes. Graham Hancock and others. That Younger Dryas about 12,000 years ago. Now, it's Graham Hancock's assertion that it was I think, comet or large asteroid that spurred the Younger Dryas and got a lot of these catastrophic cycle effects going. I don't think that was the case. I think it was solar effects. So anyway, Younger Dryas, one of these cycle changes approximately 12,000 years ago. And then if you look into many different ancient books, Bible, there's even passages in the Quran, there's Native American traditions, mythologies. There's mythologies from all around the world. You can look at Norse mythology and ancient Greek mythology, and if you parse through some of the allegory of many of those stories, it talks about different apocalypses and fire raining down from the sky and these sorts of things. Many of the details, the symbolic details of mythologies from all around the world, paint to cycle changes. And what's the time frame that many of these point back to? Possibly about 6,000 years ago, at least many of them, if not the 12,000 year shift, if some of these mythologies can be dated back towards then. A lot of makes this stuff.
It makes total sense. And I mean, obviously, if we've got thousands of years of recorded human history through these ancient texts, it would only make sense that in one way or another, we would see these things come out. And I think that, the flood itself is and most likely an example,
For sure. Yeah. For sure. There's a pretty fascinating concept called star water. I think one of Ben Davidson's very first videos on YouTube from about 14 years ago, he was talking about star water. And the idea is that water is actually made via a cosmic process in the atmosphere of planets. I don't think the water came to Earth from comets. Isn't that what we're told? I forget what we're told in schools.
I mean, that's definitely one thing that they suggest. Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. Because if that's the case, how many freaking comets would have had to hit this planet to get the...
Quite a few.
Quite a few. And are you telling me that water didn't just evaporate in the atmosphere when the comets were burning up through it? I don't know. I'm trying to find a star water video. But the idea of star water is that the elements are emanated from stars and then interact with, I believe, ozone or some kind of ions in the upper atmosphere and actually creates water. Water is created in the atmosphere of planets. And this could explain the flood of the Bible and the flood of other ancient mythologies, because the flood is a recurring theme. It's not just in the Bible, it's in other ancient traditions in their books as well, in their stories. But the water, the extra water that comes to the planet during these cycle shifts could come via natural processes that we just, at least at a mainstream level, don't understand.
It would certainly make sense. I mean, I think that it's one of the most hilarious aspects of the whole trust the science craze. The idea that the sum total of mankind's knowledge or belief structure at this point is everything that can and will ever be known. I mean, what a scary concept. The idea that we already know everything when that's clearly not true.
Most science is basically assumption stacked on top of assumption.
Yeah.
And when you get so many assumptions stacked on top of each other, that foundational one you started out with, if that ended up being wrong, even in part, then it's the house of cards. All other assumptions on top of that are flimsier and flimsier. And we have so many base assumptions that are highly questionable. Our assumptions of gravity and the laws of thermodynamics and the way our cosmological system is set up with what we assume stars to do and just general physics to do. God, we're retarded. I'm still looking for this Star Water video. I'm almost there.
Okay. Hold on just a second. Okay. Okay,
History
we have
especially, geez.
Before we continue, we've got a brief message from our friends over at Rumble. I'm just waiting for confirmation from John. And we'll be here. Keep going, Jordan. Okay. Actually, you guys, if you haven't tried 1775 coffee yet, you've got to give it a shot. They still have some of those starter kits available. There's only 1,000 units. So in that starter kit, you're going to get their bold dark roast that hits nice and hard, their smooth medium roast, which is just delicious. That's my favorite. And then their Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus without the crash you would normally get. And it's super high quality too. It's all single origin, small batch, toxin and mold free beans. Plus, you're also going to get a couple of freebies. You're going to get a gold spoon clip because Freedom isn't scooped with plastic. Very strong frother that's strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's opinion, and a black 1775 tumbler. It's $170 worth of coffee and gear, and you're going to get it all for only $99. This is explicitly for the people who have been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble and wondering if it's actually worth it. The spoiler is that it is. So head on over to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. Thank you very much. All right. Well, Jordan, we've only got 10 minutes left, and I know that you had some other stuff. We were talking about animals earlier and migratory patterns. Recently, there's been a spate of videos posted showing animals essentially trying to escape from Yellowstone. And the Yellowstone caldera, as it's known, is a hotspot of what is it? Magmatic. I don't know. Yeah, some type of magma activity underneath. That's what gives Yellowstone its unique geological formations. The geyser, and then the pools, which sometimes actually are acidic. Have you ever seen somebody try to put their feet or their hands in one of those geothermal pools and just have their skin completely melted off?
Yeah, that's a no-no.
Big no-no. Big no-no.
No-no. I went to Yellowstone when I was a kid, and I was terrified of those geysers, and I'm glad I was, because I stayed very far away.
Yeah.
Stayed very far away.
So one of the theories has been for quite some time that Yellowstone is due for an eruption, that it's happened before, it's bound to happen again in the future, and it's only a matter of time before it happens. And if it happens at the level of power that is predicted, then it would essentially spell total disaster, not only for North America, but for a large portion of the world. There was, and I think it was the eruption of maybe Mount Vesuvius, which left Europe under a large volcanic cloud and lowered the temperature a couple of degrees, maybe as much as 10 degrees, but it was enough to cause famine and plague, and people couldn't grow crops. It was horrible. The cities were surrounded by just piles of dead, rotting human corpses, and it was pretty traumatic. It would also be pretty traumatic if Yellowstone erupted in a volcanic blast and there was a wild amount of magma and ash that was spewed all over the United States.
I'm not going to lie. I get a little bit of fear porn vibe from all
You're nervous on that one?
I get a little fear porn vibe from all the super volcano stuff.
Yeah.
I remember reading when I was a kid, there was like 6 super volcanoes around the world, one in Italy and the one in Yellowstone. And God, it was like they were trying to terrify us about these super volcano things. I think all the geysers there are helping it release the pressure.
Mm-hmm. I think about that too. When this conversation comes up, they never mention really that there are regular sort of check valves going off at Yellowstone. I mean, there's obviously magma. There's obviously volcanic activity. It's an active area. but you regularly have these discharges, which are naturally releasing the pressure. And what I just described, to be fair, is the worst possible interpretation of something like that happening. And I'm not particularly worried about it. You're a little closer than I am, so I can understand the anxiety, but I'm not real worried.
Yeah, I saw some of those. I saw some of those maps, and due to the jet stream, most of it would go east.
Mhm.
Although I'm closer now than I was living in Washington, so maybe it's something for me to worry about if that was a thing. But I think most of the wind would take it east if it was even something to worry about, which I'm not worried about it. I'm more concerned about the fault lines off the West Coast, though, in terms of earthquakes, like the Cascadia Fault and the faults in California.
Mhm.
So that is something I do keep in mind now and again. Now that we've had big earthquakes recently in Alaska and Russia, the whole Pacific Rim sort of shifting. I'm wondering, there is a lot of fear porn media propaganda about the Cascadia Fault off the coast of Oregon and Washington.
Mhm.
Some of it I think is sensationalized, but it is something I think to be aware of. I was there in 2001 when that 6.7, it was about a 7.0 earthquake hit Seattle, and jumped right under my desk, and they closed the school for the day. They closed all the bridges in the area. I got
Duck and
home.
cover.
Yep, duck and cover. We would do duck and cover drills multiple times a year, and good thing we did. When I got home, there was stuff on the floor and pictures fell off the wall and everything.
That's
luckily that earthquake was really deep, so it wasn't that intense.
Mhm.
But something like that at a shallower level or heavier than that, which, if we're seeing this going on in Russia right now,
Mhm.
why couldn't that happen on the West Coast? That's something I am more concerned about, earthquakes rather than supervolcano. So
I would just like to make a personal appeal to L. Carol K, who says, "Wow, this is a very encouraging show tonight. I had the razor blades." Don't do it. Don't do it. Here's the thing, and this is why I tried to start the way that we did, is that death and rebirth, cataclysm, natural events, these are all things that are unavoidable, right? I mean, it's going to happen. And because of the, somewhat unpredictable nature of it, my ultimate message is that it's no reason for you to stop living your life. And I think that Jordan feels the same way. I mean, it's all the more reason to continue to live as much as you can.
It's all the more reason to don't waste time.
That's right.
Live life to the fullest now.
Yeah.
Because if everything was going to be the same and just fine and easy forever, there would be no reason to live life to the fullest. But if you knew that you were going to die in 3 days, man, you would go out and do everything you could. I'm not saying we're going to die in 3 days, but
I'm definitely not going to die in 3 days. I mean, the truth of the matter is you can walk outside onto the road. You go get the mail and somebody could come careening through the neighborhood, or, something terrible could happen at any point. Just if it's your time, it's your time. That's the way that I look at it, is that, God put me here for a finite time. I don't know when that's going to be, but I will continue to live as if I'm never going to die and just enjoy my time.
It's also a call to, get more skills, get more active in your local community. If some shit were to go down, whatever it is, natural disaster, civil unrest, whatever the case, it might be good to be a little prepared with some skills, know some self-reliance, know how to be able to fix a few things, grow your own food, build a local network in your community of people you can barter and trade with. So it's never a bad idea to just become more self-reliant individually and at a local level. Plus, as we've been saying, live your life, have some more fun, do more things you want to do, have some more, experience more things.
All right. So before we go, let's talk a little bit about the these animal evacuation videos that have been coming out, because a lot of people were sharing these like a month ago, and the best I could tell, they kind of seem to be like a couple of the same videos, and just different accounts were sharing them and perhaps adding their own type of fear porn commentary over the top of it. Like, my initial reaction is animal migratory patterns are a naturally occurring phenomenon that happen, and obviously the more animals there are, the more you're going to notice, especially when living in close proximity to modern civilization. Is that what we're seeing here, Jordan? Or is there
I was going to ask your opinion on it, because
Okay.
in my doom scrolling, this crossed my feed, but I didn't watch any of these videos or look into it. So
Okay.
that
Well,
was
give it a shot. Give it a play. Let's take
I
a
was
look.
thinking maybe migration, but I don't know. So let's play.
Did you guys see that all of the animals are leaving Yellowstone National Park? They're all making
That's
their
not
way.
Yellowstone.
Yeah.
That's not Yellowstone.
Looks
First
like
of all,
Moab
that
or
looks like a
something.
Toyota Hilux. Some red ass rock for Yellowstone. That is Kenya.
Do they have bears in Kenya? I don't know.
I mean, that's not. Where is that?
Yeah.
Asia, maybe.
Grace,
I mean,
you beat me. Grace, you beat me to it. That's what I was going to end with. But keep going, Jordan.
Anyway, okay.
They're all making their way, leaving Yellowstone National Park. I keep telling you guys, the Earth is groaning. The Earth is showing signs. Everything is shifting in the atmosphere. The sky is different. Everything is different, and everyone can feel it. Jesus is returning soon. The earth is showing signs. It is making it known in the water, in the sky, in the parks, in the animals,
Okay.
nature.
These are just a bunch of random videos of animals hanging out.
Exactly. So Grace in the chat, she so the U.S. Geological Survey, all right, which has some level of domain over Yellowstone. Obviously, they're watching, they are recording changes that are happening in the earth, and they said, probably for the last 25 years, people have been making this claim that what we're seeing is unnatural, and just around the same time every year, somebody makes a video like this, and then people put it out. I think that it's kind of picking up steam in the modern age, because people can obviously use artificial intelligence to make highly convincing videos. Like, I don't know if that wolf running on water was real or not.
You guys, look at this bear take a shit in the woods. Jesus is returning. So I'm going to get some lip filler.
Get right.
And
oh my God.
Subscribe to my TikTok.
Oh Lord. Anyways, so I think that what we're seeing is a combination of factors. Early on, we talked about changes that may be happening. Certainly, okay. The world is not static. Things are happening around us, and here we go again. Online sources are saying that animals are fleeing Yellowstone. This isn't the first time such claims have been made, and before that, like before, they aren't true. Today's Yellowstone Caldera Chronicles breaks down the rumors. So there is a Yellowstone caldera. There is a potential for something to happen. Animals do recognize cataclysm. There is a whole bunch of all types of EMF pollution. There is additional solar activity happening. You may notice things that are different. We may have experiences that are outside the norm. But going back to what we were saying earlier, I personally, it's not a reason for me to stop living my life. And I think that there are far more immediate dangers to our country in particular and the world in a macro sense. And when I wake up every day and I see what's happening in this country, I truly do believe that those immediate dangers are being assessed and dealt with. Doesn't mean all of them are being dealt with, because Roundup, we've mentioned that a couple of times. I think that's huge. Okay. Pollinators are necessary for the survival of the food chain. And if the food chain breaks down, that's bad. That's real bad. And we might be on the verge of something like that happening, but I don't think it means that it it will be that way forever. Here's
another one that got a couple 100,000 views on Twitter.
Yeah,
with the AI voice channel is at World War III. Elk are fleeing Yellowstone. What are they running from?
Now elk are leaving Yellowstone National Park.
Zach, does that look like elk to you?
No, those are water buffalo.
I've never seen an elk that big in my life.
We're probably going to see a herd of female lions in the background. And I guess they just added those to Yellowstone last year. oh yeah. And those are antelope.
Elk fleeing Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Water buffalo, moose, antelope, not one. Oh, there's our first elk.
We do. That is wow. It's a ghost elk too. That's cool.
A reindeer, another moose.
Yeah, it's a moose. Yeah.
See if we can see for this. My, what an interesting looking elk.
Yellowstone has gotten real exotic. It's been a while since I've been there. That's funny. Monkeys. There's no monkeys at Yellowstone.
Oh my gosh. The internet, man. I can't believe it.
Oh,
and
that's funny.
No doubt you will have somebody on Facebook repost this thinking it's real.
Unironically.
Telling their great nephew Elizabeth that, oh my gosh, you need to leave Wyoming right now.
Oh gosh. That's great. That is so great. All right, you guys, we are at the 12 o'clock hour. Jordan, I've had a great time speaking with you tonight. We do have one final sponsor that I must bring up here real quick. I actually don't see. Here it is. It's actually from Badlands. Soft disclosure. You guys get ready to ignite a revolution with soft disclosure. This isn't just a product drop. It's a full-on movement that's about to shake things up. This is a personal care line that doesn't mess around. No compromises, just pure, unapologetic quality. First up, we got the lotion, supercharged with aloe, goat milk, and our exclusive Badlands oil blend. This isn't your average drugstore goop. It is barrier restoring powerhouse. You can choose unscented when you just want clean or simple, vanilla citrus when you want to smell like you actually give a damn. And we've also got the deodorant, natural, aluminum free, and straight up badass. It's built to last 2 months of daily use with scents like crisp mint or their bold lemon grapefruit, which I think smells great. No gimmicks, just protection that actually delivers. And finally, you can't forget the tallow bar. And no, this is not deodorant. This is vanilla coffee tallow stick, primal fuel for your skin that's been through hell. You can rub it where you need serious moisture, your elbows, your hands, your knees, basically anywhere you're tired of feeling like sandpaper or you just want baby soft skin. Every bottle, stick, and bar is handcrafted in Colorado by Badlanders who live and breathe truth. Partnering with Willow Wind Farms and Badlands Media, we're putting our money where our morals are. Soft disclosure. Make truth your routine. Head to softdisclosure.com and use the code Badlands for $5 off and join the fight today.
Soft disclosure.
That's right. So soft. It really does smell awesome. And feels great too. So give it a shot. Try it out. What do you have to lose? You'll actually be supporting not only Badlands, but also our Badlands partners that were viewers of the shows before we decided to make this. It's pretty cool. Jordan, what do you got coming up, dude?
It's just the ideas going in my head.
I know. I saw you were stuck on a loop, and I knew I needed to drag you out.
Yes, I was off in Fantasyland. Anybody, again, plug in one more time, as I did at the beginning. Anybody in the Boise or Treasure Valley area of Idaho, get in contact with me because within the next few weeks, I'll be holding a meetup, hopefully at the Old State. They agreed to do it, but just got to finalize plans at the Old State Saloon in Eagle, Idaho. And I'm hoping to get a showing of Codex 911 there, hold a meetup. They have like a streaming setup too in their bar. So I'm going to see if I can stream that meetup to the Badlands channel and maybe to the Old State Saloon X page too. But yeah, get in contact with me and we'll get that Badlands meetup in Boise set up.
That's so cool. And I don't want to give the ghost up, but keep your ears and eyes open for potentially some additional exclusive screenings of Codex 9/11 around the country, not just in Boise, Idaho. Maybe if you out there have joined one of our Badlands groups, you can arrange a private screening with your friends and family. But we are looking at some additional things along those lines, which would be a little bit more grand, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. Brian talked about it today.
We need a tour bus.
That would
we
be
need to
cool.
come out with more films. Have like
Yeah.
a set, like a DVD set.
Well,
do a tour. Oh.
Do me a favor, guys. We've got 22,000 people watching right now. And if you were to hit that like button, that would be seriously awesome. Like if we got, say, 3,000 or more likes, it would not be too much to ask because it's a very small percentage of the people who are actually watching right now. If you're watching on your TV, like you can actually hit the up button on the remote and you should be able to go and select the like button right now. If you're watching on TV and you don't know how to do that, you can actually pull up your phone and hit the like on the app. You can hit the like in your browser. So many different ways that you can show very, very, very free support. We do have a couple of thank yous that I need to give over here as well. Vegas Deplorable says, have you guys ever checked out the Die Hold Foundation on YouTube? Very deep into pole shifts. Very interesting.
Bring up my feed. Bring up my share screen.
Okay, there we go.
I was going to plug this. This is the Die Hold Foundation. And Ben Davidson references this a lot. This is drier, more hardcore scientific stuff. But Die Hold dives pretty darn deep into the aspects of the Earth's magnetic pole shift and solar micronova cycles it goes through. So Die Hold's great. And then this video from Suspicious Observers, I guess he calls his channel Space Weather News now. But the next end of the world CIA classified. So this is about the Adam and Eve story.
Oh, cool. Okay,
and
sweet.
He dives into the pages that were but the pages that were classified, then declassified, and the changes and other aspects of the whole Chan Thomas scenario. So
cool. Okay, well, I'll have to resubscribe to them and check that out tonight. Also, Vegas Deplorable 26 says, also look into the McDermott caldera in northern Nevada. We'll put that on the list.
Oh God, I'm screwed. I'm in the middle of all these freaking super volcanoes.
Yeah, that's it, Jordan. You're done.
Hurricane's going to take you out. Lava's going to take me out.
That's right. Yeah, I have to say, one of the reasons that we moved to the area we did is that it's never been hit by a hurricane. I mean, never a direct hit. I mean, plenty of hurricanes have passed over, and we've experienced a couple. The first year we were here, there was one within a couple of weeks. But ZBM also says, I've been feeling like there's a crap ton of rapture fear porn lately myself. There is, and I feel like there always has been. But what do y'all think of this? Loving the show, boys. I think that there are people who, truly believe that it's coming. But I mean, this is another thing that I've noticed throughout my life. There's always somebody who's saying that it's coming soon. And so, again, if it happens, I'm prepared. But, if it doesn't, I'm also prepared. So I'm just here until I punch my card and God takes me home. So I'm good. I'm good with it. All right, you guys, do me a favor, hit that like button for real. It's so easy to do. It's totally free. And you can help us get on the leaderboard. I saw a lot of people enjoyed our banter tonight, Jordan. I definitely enjoyed having you here as well. So when is the next time you're live? Tell people that.
In the mornings, I go live on Pilled at 9 a.m., 8 a.m. Pacific, which math, 11 a.m. Eastern. So mornings on Pilled, Monday, Wednesday, Friday evenings on Rumble.
Okay.
This is my personal channels. And then on Badlands, Maha News, Friday afternoons.
All right. Well, I'm live every Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern on my channel, rumble.com/redpill78. My website, which is redpill78news.com, where you can get to all the platforms, but I'm at redpill78 on pill.net, Redpill78 on Twitter, X, Redpill78 on Truth, Redpill78 on Getter, Redpill78 on Kick, and of course, as previously mentioned, banned from YouTube, never to be allowed back, and banned on Twitch as well. And
you didn't even bother making a throwaway.
Oh no, I did
page or anything.
I did. What's his name? Alex from Media Matters was keeping a close eye on me. I am actually like MAC address banned.
How many followers did you have when you got banned?
285,000, I think.
Okay, I think I was about 250, I think.
Yeah.
So 250,000 when we got banned. Literally like same minute. Dude, they had all of our accounts waiting, and then they just pressed a button.
Yeah.
All gone at once.
It was,
I started another YouTube channel, but it only has like 3,000 or 4,000 followers.
As soon as I tried to start another one, Media Matters immediately wrote about it.
I waited like 2 or 3 years. I only started this one a year or two ago, but I will forever be salty about losing everything within 4 days.
Oh, dude. No, I mean, I'm definitely salty that I have a bunch of videos that I can't get back, but I don't care about trying anymore. We also have 2 super chats over on YouTube. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Gregory Woolley says, I tried watching Fox News for STS and gigs, like riding a tricycle after riding a rocket. Thanks. Yeah, you can. It's like once you go black, you can never go back, I hear. And then also Otter Creek in Rio Grande says, Zach, are you familiar with Immanuel Velikovsky's Worlds in Collision? Yes, I own it.
Yes,
that was my first. Yeah, my first step into conspiracies and awakening. Yes, Velikovsky obviously deeply informs the electric universe hypothesis and the Thunderbolts YouTube channel, which is also another really good one where they talk about
the Thunderbolts Project.
Yeah, Thunderbolts Project. They talk about Velikovsky quite a bit. So yeah, I think we've given you guys some excellent points of research to look into tonight. Check that out, and hopefully I will see you guys tomorrow. And obviously tomorrow on Badlands, we're going to have stuff all day. So check Jordan out, check me out, check Badlands out, hit that like button, and make sure you watch Codex 9/11 if you haven't. And that's your cue to say goodnight, Jordan.
Timu John out.
Timu John out. All right, you guys.
Adequate for the viewers tonight.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for being here. And thank you no matter what platform you're on. We will see you tomorrow.
See you guys.
Peace.